the best dressed chicken. Raised without antibiotics, it's only the best for my customers. If anyone's going to add something to my best dressed chicken,
it's going to be me.
Only the best can be called the best dressed chicken.
Lasco food drink is everything you need to support your family's nutrition. Have it at home or take it with you every day for all-day energy. Lasco food drink has your favorite flavors, including low-sugar options, so you sacrifice nothing. Packed with protein, calcium, vitamins, minerals, including iron. Lasco food drink is the winning taste and nutrition for your family. Nutrition never tasted so good.
Also try Lasco Soy as a lactose-free alternative.
CVM News at 7 Wednesday headlines, courtesy of Heart NSDA Trust, Jamaica's Human Development.
Tonight in CVM News at 7, 4 people seriously injured following explosion at Guardsman facility. Prime Minister taps Ambassador Anderson as CEO of NARRA. Opposition warns of health system crisis. And in sports, Montego Bay defeat Med Forest in Popeye's Challenge Cup.
CVM News at 7 Wednesday headlines, courtesy of Heart NSDA Trust, Jamaica's Human Development Agency. CVM News at 7 Wednesday, courtesy of.
Seize the next IPO opportunity seamlessly with the Sagicor e-Invest.
From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7 for Wednesday, May 27, 2026. I'm Nika Lewis. Thanks for joining us for an abbreviated newscast to make way for the second match in the Popeye's Challenge Cup, a doubleheader right here on CVM TV. Up first in news, a developing story. At least 4 employees of the Guardsman Group are to be airlifted out of Jamaica after suffering severe burns in an explosion at Guardsman corporate office on South Camp Road in St. Andrew Wednesday morning. The incident happened sometime before 9 o'clock. CVM News understands that all 4 victims are men. According to preliminary reports, welding work was being carried out on one of the security provider's armored trucks before the explosion occurred. 3 vehicles that were on the compound suffered extensive damage, while another received minor damage. Our news team reached out to the company, but they remain tight-lipped at this time. Retired Major General Antony Anderson has been announced as the CEO of the National Reconstruction and Resilience Authority, NARRA, during this Wednesday's post-cabinet media briefing. On the heels of the next hurricane season, the Prime Minister says Major General Antony Anderson brings to NARRA the discipline, integrity, and operational command required for this moment. Krystol was there.
The NARRA bill is now law, signed by the Governor-General, announced by the Prime Minister. With a cabinet-approved, newly installed authority CEO in place, the act is now set to prepare the country for the next hurricane season as best as possible.
The decision was to appoint Major General Antony Anderson, who is now currently ambassador to the United States, obviously that will change.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness addressed the most pressing matter regarding the National Reconstruction and Resilience Authority NARRA law and the need for a CEO to bring it to life.
It was advertised internationally. We received 120 applications from all over the world, 85 of which were specifically for the post of the CEO.
Ambassador Anderson will take office on June 1, 2026, backed by the strong confidence of key partners and stakeholders critical to NARRA's success.
The panel included the chairman of the PSC, that is the Public Services Commission. Then we had our cabinet secretary who participated, that is the Transformation Implementation Unit in the Ministry of Finance. We had as well the Port Authority of Jamaica and Mr. Stephen Edwards from NROC. So they did quite a bit of work behind the scenes to ensure that the right selection was made. I was only informed of the end result, so just in case anybody thought that I kept a distance for good reason.
The appointed CEO and recent chair of Jamaica's Post-Hurricane Burial Disaster Risk Management Review Committee brings extensive experience in public administration, national security, institutional leadership, and crisis response. Universally, CEO means Chief Executive Officer, but the Prime Minister repurposed it for the ambassador as the Chief Executing Officer. He says the most important task at hand for the newly appointed officer is getting things done.
The title is already in the law. It's the CEO, the Chief Executive Officer. But I was thinking we need to ensure that the office is not characterized as a bureaucratic office where it's just pushing paper, signing off on documents. This is about executing, getting things done.
Krystol Williams reporting for CVM News.
Thanks, Krystol. The debate over the use of body-worn cameras by law enforcement is intensifying. Just 1 week after the controversial police killing of a woman in Granville, St. James, and this isn't the latest such incident. At a policy roundtable hosted by lobby group Jamaicans for Justice on Wednesday, stakeholders renewed calls for the procurement of the cameras to be fast-tracked while urging authorities to make the relevant policy documents public. Our news team was there.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness speaking last week at a police graduation ceremony.
Recently, I've seen the calls about body-worn cameras. I thought I had addressed it before, but it keeps coming up again and again and again. To be clear, it is the policy of the government to fully deploy camera systems for the police force.
Yet, after years of promises about procurement, only 1,600 body-worn cameras have been deployed among police personnel island-wide to date. A situation civil society groups and advocates say is simply unacceptable, given that statistics show there have been 137 police fatal shootings since the start of the year. 22 of those killings happened this month alone. Michael Jackson is Executive Director of lobby group Jamaicans for Justice.
When we say from policy to statute, it's not a case where we're not aware of the procurement process underway. We are. But I think we have to ask ourselves, when we have a sectoral presentation update that says procurement is to be done, this is before the 1,000 in 2025, and then that's 2022, the update was 400 deployed, 1,000 to be procured. And the following sector presentation has the same wording. Then we have to ask ourselves, what is happening?
In acknowledging the current shortage, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, says it expects its fleet of body-worn cameras to grow to about 6,000 by 2029. Notably, the last batch of cameras arrived into the island in 2025. Warren Clark is Deputy Commissioner of Police and Head of Strategic Operations in the JCF.
There is just a 20% penetration of cameras among operators, and by operators, people on operations in the force, 8,000. And so there is a shortage, which we expect that in 3 to 4 years' time, based on the projection, we are headed to 80% penetration.
But according to Indicom Commissioner Hugh Faulkner, who wears the cameras matters just as much as how many are in circulation.
The issues before us, therefore, are no longer whether body-worn cameras are valuable, infrastructurally compatible, or suitable for deployment. The issue is whether their deployment is being prioritized where accountability, risks, and evidentiary needs are greatest. Indicom's position is that the strategic priority for daily body-worn camera deployment must be on planned police operations.
In the meantime, opposition spokesman on security Fitz Jackson has joined civil society in criticizing the slow procurement of the cameras, arguing that if the government was serious about the matter, the devices would already be in officers' hands.
In our governmental structure, there are legal provisions for procuring things which are urgently needed. So the argument about bureaucracy and all of that, if the government declares it a priority, it can be done.
Amoy Harriet, CVM News.
We take a break. Stay with us.
Nation building demands bold participation from private institutions willing to invest in Jamaica's future. Sagicor Bank has answered that call through landmark financing across almost every sector. Each project is a deliberate investment in Jamaica's infrastructure, workforce development, and the well-being of citizens. Sagicor Bank, supporting you, supporting Jamaica.
Finally said yes to onion rings. Now it's your turn to say yes to the onion ring zinger from KFC. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Lucozade, bring the energy. Unbeatable taste, new look.